Okay, now we're going to be talking about making a histogram in Excel, which comes quite easily with the 2016 feature. It's really as easy as 1, 2, 3. When you have your data highlighted, you click Insert, Step 1, and then Step 2, you choose the histogram option and choose histogram, and Excel sort of auto guesses how many bins you want will represent this data the best, and it's very automatic. So let's go ahead and make a histogram next to our dot plot. So to make the histogram, again, it's easy as step 1, 2, 3. So highlight your column of data that you want to put in a histogram. It's only going to be one column because the count in a histogram by definition has counts on the horizontal axis and the values from the data set on the vertical axis. Histograms are only for quantitative data. So it's only for values, numbers. All right, so once I have my data highlighted, step 1, insert. Step 2, go to this blue bar graph that says Insert Statistics Chart and choose that first histogram. And that's step 3. So that is done. So that's your histogram. Again, we can change both these titles to woman by kind of triple clicking in it, and you get Women Pulse, and I can call this one Woman Pulse 2. Sorry, having a hard time getting that to highlight, Women Pulse. So that's as easy as it is to make the histogram. I want to just take a moment then to compare your dot plot to your histogram to see how that's related. So for example, we can see this. Now there's less bins in our histogram than in our dot plot. So that's why you see the shape has a slight difference. They're both skewed right, but since this one kind of has more bins, it has each value individually marked with a dot, I can see more variation on the left. But they are still both skewed right, with the extreme values on the right side. But let's look. So in like this, let's look at that our 72 again. So we had 8 points of 72, 8 dots for 72, because 72 came up in our data 8 times. 72 on this graph is inside this bin, but this bin, instead of just being just 72, it's actually a range. All the dots from 60 to 73. So it's going to include those 8. It won't include the stuff from 76. So this should include these 8 plus these 5 plus this 4 plus this 3. And that gives me 20 dots total. 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 4 more is 17, plus 3 more gives me 20. And those 20 dots are represented by this bin right here. So to just kind of box out what I mean, that bin is represented by these 20 dots. Now in a histogram, each one of these bins, the range is going to be equal. So that way we have a fair representation. We don't have extra dots just because the range is wider. So if this range is 13, from 60 to 73 is 13, then this range would have to be 13. So from 73 to 86 is 13. So now looking at our dot plot, between 73 and 86, how many dots do we have? Let's do that one in red. Oh, well, I guess we can keep the blue since the histogram's blue, everything's blue. So between 73 to 86, that will include our, let's see, if I hover over the dots, I can see what the data point is. That includes the 76 column, the 80, but not the 88. So it's just these 2 columns right here. So how many dots are in that column? So we can count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 dots in that column. So there's 12 dots. The height of this bin is 12. And similarly, so now our next bin is going to be 86 to 99, and there's not that many dots in that 86 to 99 range. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that has a height of 6. And then we have some bins that only have one piece of data in it. So the histogram and data plot are closely related in this way, where they're both counting. They're both frequency on the horizontal axis and the data point value on the vertical axis. I'm sorry, I got that switched. The frequency on the vertical axis, and the value from the data set on the horizontal axis.